What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Chin here again today from Nothing But Facts. Hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys have been watching this series I have been putting together. We are doing a season prediction for the AP preseason top 25 teams. We've started all the way at number one: Ohio State, Texas, Oregon, Notre Dame, Georgia. We've done Indiana, we did Georgia, we did A&M today. Like, we are on a roll, and now we are going to talk. We also did Oklahoma too as well. Totally forgot about Oklahoma to the Sooners. Now we are going to do the Ole Miss Rebels, a team that was just one play away from potentially getting to the national championship with all the, I don't want to say distractions, but it was a lot of things surrounding the team toward the end toward the end of the season last year. Questions about Lane Kiffin. Was he going to come back? He ended up leaving. Were they going to be good enough to get into the playoffs? Were they going to be good enough to fight and win in the playoffs? And they showed it. They had a great win last year against Georgia. But now the Ole Miss Rebels are looking into 2026 with SEC title and national championship aspirations 100%. Well, let's go right into their schedule. They are starting off hot. First game of the season, a neutral site game. This is against Louisville, a team with still a lot of questions around their quarterback position. I'm hearing some things about Lincoln Keenholz, the Ohio State transfer. He's going to be the starting quarterback at Louisville. But I think this Ole Miss team is really talented. I think they have a lot of fresh faces, but fresh faces who are experienced. They're going to add to this defense. I think they handle and take care of business against Louisville. You're looking at 1-0. Going against Charlotte, I think they're 2-0. And then against LSU, the return game for Lane Kiffin, I can only imagine what the atmosphere in Oxford is going to feel like, what it's going to be like. I really like Ole Miss in this game because, number one, it's early in the season. You have them at home, and there's still a lot of question marks for me surrounding LSU. I know everyone is saying Sam Levitt is going to be a starter. I respect that. I get that. But still, that wide receiver room is not – I haven't seen much of it yet. Like, I haven't seen that wide receiver room. I know it's a lot of transfers. I know it's a lot of new guys on that wide receiver side. But I want to see a couple of games where, I could see and say, okay, I think they're good enough to beat Ole Miss. But I don't think this early in the season, I don't think Lane Kiffin is going to have his team ready to go like that. And you also got to think, they're going to have already played Clemson. Maybe that Clemson game is a, great way for them to sort of understand that, hey, we have some other great teams we're playing, and they raise their level of play. But who knows? But I like Ole Miss in this ball game, and I'll take Ole Miss to win this one. Then we have Ole Miss going on the road to Florida. John Summerall in year one, coming over in from Tulane. Still a lot of questions surrounding their quarterback. They have either Aaron Philo. Aaron Philo is the Georgia Tech transfer. They also have behind Aaron Philo Tramel Jones. Tramel Jones was a big-time recruit for the Gators. But I like Ole Miss here. It's going to be a big road test for Ole Miss early on in the season. You get Florida in September, and I think that's a great road test early on in the season to kind of test where your team is. I think for this game, this is going to be, where we know if Trinidad Chambliss is him. Because going on the road to Gainesville is a very tough task to do. We saw this last year when Arch early in the season against Texas, when he was, when Texas went on the road against Florida. Florida knocked them off their game. Like, Florida at home in that environment, you got the Gator Chomp going. Like, John Summerall is going to have his guys ready for this game. But I do think Ole Miss is a good football team. I think Ole Miss wins. You're looking at 4-0. Then you're going on the road against Vanderbilt. Jared Curtis, the highest rated recruit in the history of Vanderbilt football. He's presumably now the starter at Vanderbilt. And Clark Lee has, some new faces on his team, but a lot of guys have left. Still, hey, don't sleep on Vanderbilt. Don't think Vanderbilt's going to lay down and just let Ole Miss walk into their trap and take it over. No, I think that's going to be a game a lot closer than people think. But a good thing about it is this game is coming off of a bye week. So for, if you are Ole Miss, you went on the road the week before to Florida. You get a week off, then you go back on the road against Vanderbilt. I think LSU wins that game. You are looking at 5-0 to start the season. You're at home against Mizzou. Mizzou, again, another team that we have to respect what Eli Drinkwitz has been doing in Columbia. He's get his team, to bowl games. They're winning 10 games. They're competing, they're fighting, they're physical. But I think they just don't have enough of the tank. I think Ole Miss finds a way to get it done. We're looking at 6-0. And this is where I think things get a little bit interesting, because now you have at Texas, Auburn, Georgia, and Oklahoma. Let's start off with Texas. Going on the road against Texas Saturday, October 24th. I've talked about Texas over here. I said how I think this is the team that Steve Sarkisian has been planning for, praying for, hoping for. This is a major road test for Ole Miss. And they're talented. They're a great group. I think Trinidad Chambliss is a top 3 quarterback in the country. That is going to be another hostile environment. That's going to be another road test for Ole Miss. I don't think they have enough in the tank. You're going against Mizzou at home the week before. I think that's a little bit of a trap game, so people don't really like to look at Mizzou as a team you take seriously. But I think Mizzou is going to bring the punch. And then the next week you go on the road to Austin, and you have to figure out the Longhorns. I think that's where Ole Miss gets caught napping. I think they get the loss. Then they are 6-1, coming at home against an Auburn team that I think people should pay attention to. I really think people should pay attention to this Auburn team. Alex Golish coming in from South Florida. Not enough people are talking about it. I really think this Auburn team they can win 7 games, 8 games this year just because of how he is as a coach. They have Byron Brown. They brought in some guys from South Florida. I really like Auburn this year. I think this is going to be a sleeper team, a surprise team, a team that people are just not going to respect. And then they're just going to You're going to see them with like 2 ranked wins at the end of the year. But I think Ole Miss finds a way to get it done. This game is at home. I think Ole Miss finds a way to get it done. They win that game. Then they have Georgia, Saturday, November 7th. I need to make a video about Saturday, November 7th. It's going to be an absolute movie. Georgia going on the road to Oxford, trying to get that revenge from the playoff loss. Ole Miss is trying to get revenge from their regular season loss. So it's so much revenge going on here. This is going to be a one of the better quarterback duels in the SEC we'll see this year. Gunnar Stockton, Trinidad Chambliss. And we also see a really physical run game with Kewan Lacey against that Georgia front. Man, I've always said that I really like Kirby Smart teams on the road. I feel like Georgia plays better on the road. Just the way Kirby Smart has his guys ready to go, I think they play better on the road. I still think just Trinidad Chambliss, his dynamic ability, his dynamic playing ability, I think he finds a way to get it done at home. I think Ole Miss wins this game. You're looking at an Ole Miss team right now that is 8-1. Then we have, 7-1. Well, 8-1, 8-1. Then we have against Oklahoma the following week. So we have to think about this 3-week stretch, this 4-week stretch again for Ole Miss at Texas, Auburn, Georgia, Oklahoma. You better bring your hard hat on every single game. It's going to be physical. It's going to be nasty. Like, that is a physical stretch right there. That is a physical stretch of football that your team has to be ready to play for. And I think this Ole Miss team can do it. The thing about we've talked about and we've seen about Ole Miss in the previous years was it's almost like they flail out. Like, they have all this juice, they have all this energy, and then it's like I remember when the Georgia game, perfect example last year, they were up big on Georgia, and Georgia was running the ball, just running the ball, and just running the ball, just running the ball, and the dam broke. So do we see that sort of thing here? Because this is a physical stretch of running backs you're playing. You're going against Raleek Brown and Hollywood Smothers. You're going against guys like Chauncey Bowens and Nate Frazier. You're going against guys like Jordan Blaylock, the running back from Oklahoma. I can't think of Auburn's running back, but I know he's like that. So it's like, man, but I think this Ole Miss team is good enough to overcome that. They're experienced. I think Pete Golding has been here with this team. I think they like this guy. I think Ole Miss can find a way and beat Oklahoma on the road. Give me Ole Miss to win that game. And then they play Wofford. Then they have 2 games to finish the season at home against Wofford. They should win that. And against Mississippi State. So realistically, 10-2, 11-1, sort of same thing last year is really good for this Ole Miss team. And I think this roster is really, really like this is a really good roster that has been put together in Oxford. I really like this roster. Like obviously with Trinidad Chambliss at the quarterback position, you have Deuce Knight coming in as the backup. You have Mekhi Frazier coming into as well. Like this is a really good Mekhi Frazier coming in from Michigan State. Like this dude was a physical back. Like this is a really good roster. Of course, still Kawan Lacey, I talked about him. He's a dog. And Daryl Gill coming in from Syracuse. Like they have firepower. Horatio Fields, formerly played at Wake Forest. He was at Auburn last year. Like they have talent on this roster. Jonte Cook as well. Hopefully he could put it together. Syracuse, Texas. Like if they can put it together, this is going to be a really good team. But I think defensively, too, as well, is where I think this Ole Miss team is really good. Luke Farrelly was one of the better linebackers in the ACC last year. He left Cal after Tosh Lapoy became the head coach. I thought he should have stayed. But, he ended up leaving. He's going to be the starting linebacker, I think, for Ole Miss this year. A really good linebacker. Go put on the tape. Janelle Aguero coming in from Georgia, excuse me. This was a 3-year starter at Georgia. He's played big-time football games. He's played in Alabama, in the Alabama game. He played in the SEC championship game. He's played in big-time football games. Like, this is a very experienced roster for Ole Miss. Like, if you're an Ole Miss fan, you should feel very confident about this football team because they're going to be good. They're going to be good. And, again, on the offensive side, they have Weapon X. Like, this dude is a problem. All right. I don't care. You can list me all the running backs you have in the country. If Kawan Lacey's name is not on that list, I don't want to see that list. Just throw that list out, throw it in the garbage. Kawan Lacey is a top 5 running back in the country, maybe top 3. He is him. He's him. And the numbers prove it. The numbers prove that this guy is a dog. He is a workhorse. He led the country in carries, 306 carries. Like, he's him. He's him. But, again, I think a lot of this, too, has to be on the shoulders of Ole Miss offensive coordinator John David Baker. And this guy, we have to give him credit. This guy came in last year from East Carolina. And I remember when the whole fiasco was going on when Lane Kiffin was leaving Ole Miss, he helped them coach in the playoffs. Like, he was coaching in the playoffs. I think he got hired in December, and he was still coaching in December. Like, it doesn't really happen like that, but just given the unique situation Ole Miss was in, he was there playing. Like, so I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be a lot of fun for Ole Miss this year. I really like this team. And, of course, the man in charge, Pete Golding, has to feel good too. Like, he has to feel good about this roster because, when you look at the SEC, he's played a lot of these teams. He coached at Alabama. He was the former defensive coordinator at Alabama. But he's been in this league. He's not a rookie. He's not Ryan Silverfield. Ryan Silverfield is a rookie, respectfully. Okay? Like, he's not him. This guy has been in the league. He has coached in the SEC. I think some people get that twisted and just forget. Like, this guy is a good coach. He's a really good coach. And I really like Ole Miss this year. I think with Trinidad Chambliss, I think with this guy, I think the ceiling is the roof. Ole Miss will go as far as he goes. Like, simple. He is the most dynamic quarterback, in my opinion, Trinidad Chambliss is the most dynamic quarterback in college football. Just simple. Like, the dude is a dog. You tell me a better dynamic quarterback than Trinidad Chambliss, I'll wait. He's him. He's him. So again, this Ole Miss team, this is a hard schedule. Like, I'm not about to sit here and be like, oh, this is a really tough schedule. Louisville, LSU, Florida, on the road against Florida, Texas, Georgia, Oklahoma. Like, that is a tough schedule. And I think, again, this team, they have the depth, they have the talent, they have the coaching staff. Again, what are we talking about? We're talking about how can this guy and this guy, how can these two get them back to the SEC championship? Because a lot of it is going to be also determining on this guy, Pete Golding. How does he put this together, get this team ready to go? Because they're talented, they have what it takes, and I am rooting for Ole Miss this year. Would love to see what happens, but hey, we'll see what happens. Keep liking, keep commenting, keep sharing. Love you guys. God bless. Peace.